Hello, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've done a monthly empties review, so I'm super excited today. I've got quite a mix of products. So usually I just kind of stick to skincare, but today I've got hair care, I've got makeup, and I've even got a fragrance as well. So the first product that I'm going to start off with, and this is way overdue now, but I've been using these concealers from ELF, and these are getting really rave reviews, and for really good reason. Honestly, I used to wear concealers from MAC, and I can't remember the last one that I used, but I used quite a few of their different ones. So I used the one with the cream in the pot. I used the Studio Fix, which comes in a little cute tube. And the last one that I used was their 24-hour, I think that could have been Studio Fix as well. And that one came in a similar applicator to this. And obviously they're quite a bit more pricey, and literally it was since the lockdown where I wasn't as able to go out and head down to like my local MAC store or like my local department store and get it, and I literally just thought to myself, do you know what, it's a £5, let me give it a try. And honestly, I have not looked back. So the first ones that I started using were the original 16-hour camo concealers. Absolutely love these. As I say, I was already converted when I started using these ones. The 16-hour camo concealer, they do tend to, even though they've got all the same names of shades, the 16-hour camo concealer with the black lid is definitely more cool in tone. And you know what, I'm actually sitting in really natural light today. I'm sitting right next to the window and the lovely spring sunshine's coming through, so excuse me. The light is going to go in and out, but I have got my lights on over there, so hopefully it's going to stay nice and bright enough. Anyway, so as I was saying, I started off using the 16-hour camo concealer with the black lid, and I was already sold when I started using this one. And then later on I decided to go, the only reason why I decided to switch is because I generally need the most concealer around my eyes. So I never ever go for a mattifying effect concealer around the eyes, because one, I like my makeup to be dewy, and two, that eye area, it doesn't produce any oil. So, you know, once that makeup goes on, it is going to stay. It doesn't need to be matte. It's not going to turn oily and slip off your face. If anything, and in my case, it just kind of showed up the lines. So when I smile, I sort of like found that it was quite drying under there. It just made the whole look even worse. So but I was still really happy with it. It was just, I just thought to myself, maybe I need like a slightly more creamy texture. So when I saw the hydrating camo concealers in the satin finish, I was like, yep, definitely going to give this one a try. Now, even this one doesn't claim to be a long wear one like this one does. This one definitely stays on my face all day, and I will give you some tips on how I do that in just a second. But the only difference I would say between the two ranges as well, apart from the finish, is that the shades are slightly warmer in the hydrating camo satin finish than they are in the 16-hour with the black lid. So the hydrating one has got like a more red undertone, whereas this has got a more neutral undertone. And so I use Rich Chocolate as my darkest concealer shade in the 16-hour one. But my darkest shade in the satin finish is Deep Chestnut, because when I switched over, Rich Chocolate in the hydrating finish was way too warm. It almost looked too red. And even though my skin is dark, it is a yellow undertone. So yeah, I ended up going with Deep Chestnut, and that one is perfect. So having that sort of more red and warm, like orange undertone, I find it is really good for brightening. So I actually now use the Deep Chestnut and the Deep Olive, and I use that underneath my eyes, around my mouth, and on the sides of my nose in the creases here. And it's really good just for sort of like bringing that sort of like central part of the face forward, and it lasts all day. And it doesn't have that sort of dry matte and sort of like potentially gonna cake sort of finish. Absolutely worth the money. The only thing I would say is that the tubes can be a little bit deceiving. And so you think that that's a really good size tube and it's going to last you a long time, and I've got to be honest, I mean, I do wear concealer every day, but they probably last me like no more than 6 weeks. But to be honest, they're a £5. So when I was using the MAC ones, they were coming in at, I think, I can't remember because it's been so long since I used it, but I think they were like 16 to 20 pounds, and they probably lasted me like a couple more weeks, and then it was always difficult to kind of like get another one. At least with this one, I can get them in Superdrug, I can get them in Boots, anywhere that sells e.l.f., like, you know, so they're much more accessible. So I think I can't see myself going back to the matte concealers anytime soon. But I just wanted to show you that lovely big applicator. So it's got a really, they call it a doe foot applicator. So it's really nice and big, so nice coverage all over wherever you need to put it. And as I say, I just find that it lasts all day. And the way that I make it last all day, I'll just quickly go into that before I move on to the next one. I use a hydrating serum because I have got normal to oily skin. So if I don't use a hydrating serum, what I find is that by the end of the day, because my skin isn't hydrated enough, it starts to produce more oil. And then when that happens, the makeup can slide off. So I always use a hydrating serum. And then I use obviously my SPF, and then I use a primer, and I use the Hyaluronide primer by I can't remember the name of the company. I'll put it in the description box, but it's called Hyaluronide and it comes in like a pink tube. It's the only primer that I've used and loved and hasn't given me any breakouts, and yeah, it's just a really good primer. So I'll make sure I put that in the description box as well. Moving on, I'm just going to stay with makeup products for now. So if you watched my empties video from February, I was talking about the Maybelline mascara in that video. And I said to myself that I was still on the hunt for a good high street, you know, sort of like low budget mascara. And I am really glad that I went to Superdrug to buy my concealers one day. And when I got to the checkout, she said to me, did you want to take one of these because they're 3 for 2, or, you know, yeah, they're all offer basically. And I had seen Beauty's Big Sister review it, and I thought to myself, do you know what, give it a try. Oh my God, this mascara here, the Sky High Lash Sensational by Maybelline, is gonna be my absolute new favorite. Now, I did mention in my previous video that when it comes to mascaras, I do tend to go with like more premium brands, just because that's what tends to do the best for my lashes. In terms of like the pigment as well, it's just the little things. For me, it's all about separation, the pigment, and I don't like anything that looks too dry on my lashes. So anyway, this one, I think they come in at about £8.99, £9. And it's just brilliant. The only thing that I will say is that I don't see it lasting as long as like my Lancome mascara. I did feel like my Lancome mascara, it looked new for longer. You know, like new mascara look, everything looks really nice and separated and glossy and whatever. And then over time they sort of dry out and they sort of like just don't apply as well. And I found with my Lancome one is that stayed looking fresh and new for like weeks. I literally had my Lancome mascara for, I'm going to say about 9 months, to be honest. Like literally, obviously I'm not using it every single day, but yeah, I had one tube for 9 months. And it was only like towards the end that it just started to dry out a little bit. This one I've had for probably about a month now, and I use it every day that I wear mascara, which is probably like 5 days out of the week. And it is starting to not go on quite as smoothly as it did in the beginning. And the only tip that I would give you for that is just to make sure that your lashes are absolutely clean. And obviously if you are wearing mascara every day, it can be difficult to really get that build up off your lashes. But if you can really get the lashes really nice and squeaky clean, that's when I find that you get the best application with that. I am still using the UK Lash Growth Serum, and I think it's absolutely amazing. Hands down, I would say it does take a little bit of time, but stick with it and you will get the results that you want. So once I started, you know, seeing those results from the serum and then added this mascara, honestly, not going to be wearing strips anytime soon. When I do go for strips, I always go for a more natural looking set anyway. So if I can avoid, you know, wearing strips and sort of just grow my own lashes, then absolutely I will do. So yeah, love the packaging as well. I think the packaging is really nice and sleek, really nice. It's like a pale pink with like a metallic pink sort of rose goldy writing on it. The only thing I don't like is like, you see the security tags, they leave such sticky residue on the products. There's just no way to get it off. If you do know a good way, then let me know. But even like soap doesn't get that off. The only way you can really get it off is to give it a really good rub, and then you just don't have time. And when the packaging's that nice, it just looks grubby, doesn't it? Moving on. So the next one I'm going to talk about is actually a hair product, and this one I've only used twice and I can't even pronounce it. Oblepikha Siberica Professional. I probably said that wrong, but look at that packaging. How nice is that? It just looks so nice on my on the side in my bathroom. I just love that turquoise and gold packaging. It just looks really nice and sort of like tropical and exotic, and oh, it's got a really nice smell as well. I didn't spend much time smelling it when I used it. What would I describe that as? I would say it's definitely like more of a fruity smell, but not anything that's overbearing. Yeah, it's a really, really nice smell. It is vegan as well, and it's supposedly organic. I must say, I haven't looked at the ingredients in too much detail, but on the front it does say that it's vegan and organic if you're interested in that sort of thing. But I got this one because I wear wigs a lot, and so usually I'm not wearing one today, but usually my hair is braided under a wig and it will stay in those braids for like 3 weeks. And so even though I do co-wash my hair in between, you do get like a bit of build up on the scalp by, you know, by the end. So every now and again, you see how like you use a clarifying shampoo, like really get that build up off. So I was just really keen to try something that was going to take the build up and the dead skin off of my scalp. I don't actually suffer with dandruff, but I know that a lot of people that do suffer with dandruff have used this, and any reviews that I've seen are more talking about how it affects dandruff, and I've seen really good reviews about how it works. For me, I don't have that issue, but as I say, the sort of build up, and it's really easy to use. The way that I use it, I just parted my hair into about 6 sections. I just applied it in the part-ins and literally just gave myself a really good scalp massage, and it just felt so good. And I've definitely noticed that my scalp, I've used it twice now, but I've definitely noticed that my scalp just felt, it's a really difficult thing to explain, but like, you know how you can just feel when you got makeup on your skin and when your skin's clean? It's the same sort of thing. So yeah, it doesn't like tingle or anything like that, but the scalp just feels like it's like breathing now, you know? So yeah, absolutely love that one. That's definitely going to be staying in my hair regimen. I might experiment with it actually and see if I can like add some essential oils and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you apply it before your shampoo, so you give it a good scrub, then use your shampoo and then your conditioner, and honestly, yeah, love, love, love that product. I have seen more scalp scrubs coming onto the market now, but to be honest, when I thought about maybe it's time to use a scalp scrub, this was the one that I thought of, because as far as I know, this was like the first one that I ever heard of. But then when I started looking for it on Amazon, there were loads, and actually there was one in Superdrug as well that I noticed the other day, and I think that was by Elvive. So yeah, they're very accessible and they seem to be like a bit of a new thing. Next up, this is my hydrating serum, and this is what I've been using. This is by Dr. Murad. It's the Revitalixer Recovery Serum. It's for face and eyes, but I tend to use it on the back of my hands as well when I'm feeling like spoiling myself, because I'm not gonna lie, it is pricey. Can't remember how much it was, and I got this in like a gift pack as well. So I'll put the link in the description box. Applying this underneath my makeup as like, you know, my first step serum has been such a game changer in how my makeup sits on my face. I use this both morning and night. As you can see, I've been using this consistently since probably end of January, and that's how long it's lasted. So 2 months of using that sort of like every day. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, having a slightly oilier skin, it's definitely worth using any hydrating serum. I mean, I love this one because it's super hydrating. It's got like slight light reflecting particles in it as well. So I'll show you. It's got like almost like a sort of pearlescent, you see, it's got that sort of like pearlescent sheen to it. It doesn't leave any sort of like glitter on your face, but it does seem to make your skin sort of glow. So I really love this. I just think it's a really indulgent thing to put on. And so yeah, when I put this on with my sort of slightly oilier skin, I just find that because my skin's so hydrated, the moisture is really locked in, it looks really plump and dewy, and then it just doesn't seem to get oily throughout the day. So between using this, my primer that I spoke about earlier, and then I finished my face with my Laura Mercier powder, honestly, that combo there, solid, 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 solid. So if you do find that you are getting like towards the middle, the end of the day, and your makeup's just sliding on off your face, definitely try those 3 steps. And the last product I'm going to talk about is my new signature fragrance from Floris. To be honest, I am a Gemini, and it's very difficult for me to commit to one thing. And I have tried some of the other Floris fragrances more recently, just because I was getting a gift for somebody, so I ordered a few samples, and honestly their fragrances are just so unique but yet classic and like easy to wear. This is a really nice one. It's called Zafiro, and it's definitely got like a very sort of citrusy base. But I just find if you like sort of like D&G Light Blue, Moschino Cheap and Chic, those sorts of like really sort of fresh and floral, fruity sort of smells, this is perfect. It's a sort of perfume that you put on and somebody doesn't ask you what perfume you're wearing, they just think that you smell clean. Those are the sorts of perfumes that I like. I don't really like anything too overbearing, especially like not on a daily basis. So this one, I just find it's got like a it's got like a sort of grapefruit, really juicy but light smell to it, and I absolutely love it. So even though it's light, I can still smell it at the end of the day. And they've got a really nice range of unique perfumes. So I did order some samples recently, and I tried a honey oud, which is really nice, very strong, definitely a nighttime smell. And I tried another one, which I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically, hold on a second. Okay, so I just looked up the name of the other one, but just before I tell you about that one, I'll just give you a rundown of what the Zafiro actually smells like. So I remember when I did read the description, I was like, yeah, that actually hit it right on the head. So I will just quickly read that one to you. So Zafiro, it falls underneath their citrus family, and it is apparently unisex as well, which I can believe actually, because it's not sort of like one way or the other. Okay, so the actual description for it is crisp lemon and lime, punctuated with bergamot and mandarin, warmed by spicy notes of cardamom and nutmeg. So it's not too sort of like citrus. It definitely has got, as they said, it's got that sort of undertone of that sort of vanilla-y sort of smell. So it's just perfect for me. And the other one that I tried was the honey oud, and the third one that I tried was called Bergamotto di Positano, a unisex scent that evokes the warmth of a Mediterranean sea breeze, sunshine and clear shimmering water. That doesn't give too much away, but the high notes in it are bergamot, vanilla and marine. And honestly, when I smelt that one, it kind of, even though the description didn't give it away, when I actually smelt it, I was like, yeah, I could see myself on a yacht on the Mediterranean smelling this sort of smell. So yeah, if you do like those sort of like really fresh and unique fragrances, then definitely, I know the packaging is a little bit like old school, and I think that's why they kind of get overlooked. When somebody bought this for me for Christmas, I literally didn't wear it for about 6 months. And then I got it out and I was like, okay. And now it's my signature. So yeah, if you are in the market for something a little bit different, then definitely give Floris a try. So that is it for this month's Empties video. Unlike the last one, there aren't any products here that I'm sort of like disappointed with. These are all products that I'm sort of like really enjoying using at the moment. And again, I'll mention, it's like I always used to go for those sorts of like, you know, more mid-range to high-end products, thinking that they were better. And honestly, these more affordable high street brands now, like Elf, they are killing the game, honestly. Wayne Goss actually did a video recently about their BB or CC cream. And from when Wayne Goss has said that something is good, I am absolutely willing to try it. But unfortunately, I don't think that those are available yet. Maybe they're available in the more central London stores, but I haven't seen it in my local store yet. And I'm going to be doing a video that shows you exactly how I put together my 5-minute face using my Elf concealers and the serum and the primer that I spoke about. So you get to see that process from start to finish, because we are heading into the warmer months now. So I know that there are going to be some girls out there looking for a way to keep their face on their face for the whole day, because who doesn't want that? But anyway, that is it from me for today. And thank you so much for checking out the video. And don't forget, of course, like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you next time.